you again soon.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Thanks, Ghislaine. Great insights there.
The wonderful Ghislaine Landry here this week. Now enjoying a different type of life. Ninth place semi-final, and it has Scotland leading Canada at half-time, 15 points to 12. Ghislaine Landry heading off to her other duties. Great to have the absolute great of Canada Rugby with us for a spell. That's a big, hard carry off the restart from Jordan Edmonds, but penalised as he goes to ground, held on too long. Not getting out of there in a hurry. So good opportunity for Canada to start the half.
Yeah, just get that ball off.
Canada slowing this down at the beginning of the second half, taking a second to get their composure. It's a great start for them with a great opportunity to take the lead here.
Tap from Cooper Coates. Canada try and work a move in midfield, and they've confused the Scotland defence. Here's Jake Teal out wide, and that is a well-worked try. Perfect execution from Canada to put them in front.
Just listen to that crowd. They're loving that try. Fantastic from Canada. Jake Teal getting them going. He's enjoying that, feeding off the energy, and that's what you've got to do at home. Sevens is exhausting, especially as you get into these later games on day two, and anything you can get from the crowd, and it is a boisterous crowd here in Vancouver, really helping these Canadian players, and they'll look to feed off that as we get into the second stage of the match. Simple try, well worked from the penalty. It really stemmed from that work at the breakdown, and Teal goes in the corner.
Yeah, they've wanted to get behind this team so much, and they've done it so well, and the conversion is good too. So more good news for the fans at BC Place, and Jake Teal, yeah, pump it up, give them more, that's what he wants. Canada ahead, 19 points to 15. Restart will go down into the arms of Edmonds for Scotland. He drives up towards the 22. Popularin on the field, but yeah, off his feet, straight off his feet. It was right in front of the ref. He's remonstrating with him.
Yes, just inaccuracy at the breakdown, and Canada once again from the kickoff, they're just causing enough of a nuisance to themselves at the breakdown. The Scottish players flying in and not able to stay in control of their body weight.
Canada have come out of the blocks in the second half, the better of the two teams. Here's another chance to just give themselves a little bit of breathing room, and the change of tactic works to absolute perfection. Alex Russell with the finish, coats the chip kick through. It was pinpoint accurate from Cooper Coates, set up for Alex Russell to finish.
Fantastically well-worked try from Canada. It's something we've seen them do over the years. It used to be Nate Hirayama to Harry Jones, but the new generation of Canadian players showing that they can produce this move too. And so many teams now, especially as you get into your 22, putting it in and the backfield open, and Canada able to exploit it.
And aren't they delighted as well? Come on, Canada. They're trying to kickstart their season. It's been a rough year for them. But what better place to do it?
Hold.
They drive the restart long, find open territory, so Scotland have to go back and chase. They do so through Henry. Now, going straight up the middle, it's Jacob Henry. Scotland haven't had any ball really in this second half. Sofalaran holding on too long. been caught out again, Scotland. All the momentum Canada's way.
Here on the
I
5.
think that's 3 out of the last 4 breakdowns. Scotland have carried the ball in. There's been a penalty for Canada. Their supporting players are just not there quick enough, and the ball carriers are not doing enough to get themselves into a good position. And Canada able to take advantage
And they're gonna
and get
take the
another
scrum
on the
after
attack.
once
We've
time
really
is back
seen
on.
this whole second half, Scotland have had barely any possession. When you don't have the ball, when you're turning it over, when you carry it in, everything becomes more difficult.
And now Canada's just taking a little bit of time. It's all their way, isn't it? Subs coming in, fresh legs.
Time is still off.
4 minutes of dominance, but they're still only up by 11 points. So Scotland are certainly not out of this, but they've got to start it now with a good defensive stand. And for Canada, getting this next try would be huge.
Bind. Set.
Canada from the scrum. It's a little untidy. There's advantage being played though. Yeah, another penalty. Not going to take that from the mark, so you'll have to go back.
I had the wrong mark.
And redo it again. Brennan Prevost. Nice try.
Yeah. Offside 9.
So that's the scrum half of the break. Potentially not the scrum half of the scrum, which was surprising. Canada choosing to go for the scrum again. Take some time, and time is in their favour. They want to take as much time off it as they can and just bleed this clock out as we get into the latter stage of the second half.
Yep. Coach. Bind.
At the moment, the second half display from Canada has put them in the box seat, but it's not done. 2.5 minutes, still a long time. Scotland just haven't had any ball. Canada through Richard, been really strong in the centres in the middle of the field for Canada. Try and work their way to the right.
It's offside 3.
And no advantage again being played, and looking to get around the outside. Elias Ergas couldn't quite keep the ball in field though.
I think we heard the referee just say over just as he was going out of bounds. So might have been better off, especially with the way the scoreboard is looking. Cutting in from that sideline probably wasn't enough space for him to get around. So maybe at this point,
12 red, 5
hard
red.
drive off that right foot, cut in bounds, because turning over the ball, giving Scotland the chance now, less than 2 minutes on the clock. This is when Scotland need the ball. If you set up another phase, you're probably going to score the next one.
Time's on.
To Sean Bowen. It's disrupted ball again for Scotland, but tidied up nicely in the end by James Johnston. Good impact coming off the bench from him. Scotland, bit of time and possession would do them wonders, and that penalty will help. Coombs will tap and go quickly. Sofalarin. Up over halfway is Henry again, and another penalty. So just been piggyback down the field at the moment, Scotland, and let's see if they can capitalise on it. They need to score and score next and score soon. Scotland just ghosting across the field, and it's a good tackle by Prevost, just tracked across. And now they spread again. It's awkward down low, and here's Sofalarin though with a little bit of space, and then the inside cut works to perfection. Just drifted across the Femi Sofalarin, and then Jacob Henry hits the ball at pace, and that's just the score Scotland need. We're in for another tight finish.
Absolutely, and crucially scored under the post. Sofalarin drifting across. Henry spotting that the third Canadian defender had switched off slightly. That opened up the hole as Sofalarin dragged the second defender out of position. And now, about 30 seconds probably on the clock by the time we kick this off. This kickoff is absolutely crucial. Really drilling down. Teams practice this so much, but who's able to take this? And then it'll be on bleeding that last seconds to the clock if you're Canada, or if Scotland retain it. Last passage of the game. Can you go out and get the try when you need it?
26 points to 22. 30 seconds to play. Elms kicks off for Scotland. It's a really well-weighted kick, and is that going to be a penalty taken in the air?
No, yeah.
Yeah.
In the air.
The wrong way. Initially, all the Canadians have rushed back.
Yeah, for a second I was like, what was that for, sir? That was almost highly questionable. Fantastic take in the air. Really good competition. Farndale getting up, trying to get his arm around to slap the ball, but not getting it, hitting the man instead. And Prevost does so well. His team needed him to step up, and he was there when it counted.
Canada walks slowly to the scrum. Huda has gone in and out, and Canada will be done.
Bind.
This battle,
Set.
really important overall point scoring battle
Come up. Both. Everybody come up.
in the
Everybody
series
needs to have
table for
patience
these
on set.
teams.
Everybody needs to have patience on set.
And these Scottish forwards are preparing to give everything they've got. This is the final of your tournament. If you can't turn over this scrum, it's all over. So the Scottish three really going for it now.
9. Set.
They'll get the free kick and everybody will just relax here. Look at Cooper Coates turns to that crowd, pump of the fist. They desperately want to at least finish ninth here, Canada, and they're coming home with a wet sail on day 2. An excellent second half performance sees them carry on through the 9th place semi-final. They see off Scotland with a 26-22 victory. They came out in game 1 today, Canada, and put forward a really good display. And they built on it again. I'd say, Madison, probably the best performance we've seen all weekend.
Absolutely. I think it was really their first 14-minute performance and maybe let it slip early on. But earlier they'd had promising moments. They'd had moments where they suggested they could do something slightly better. And here they really paired that together. I think really buoyed by the crowd. We saw Teal playing with them especially, but the crowd really pushing the Canadians on. And as we got in the later stages of the match, that proved even more crucial.
The crowd have got into their work well on day 2. Started off a bit quietly, understandable. Easter Sunday. Look at Jake Teal, and he's such a big part of this, pumping them up and really enjoying these moments. Regaining some confidence in this young Canadian side, rebuilding.
Let's go!
And there we go. Right, let's go and get some reaction downstairs from the Canadian team. Carlton Anna is sideline.
Brock, congratulations on a fantastic win. Just tell me the difference between yesterday and today for you.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday obviously a couple frustrating first games, a couple tight losses, and we just built momentum from that third game yesterday and on to today. Obviously, taking the first 2 wins today, build even more, and we're pretty amped. This crowd makes it pretty easy to get up for it, so yeah.
Do you feel pressure playing at home?
No, I mean, yeah, maybe a bit, but at the same time, at least personally speaking, I love the pressure, and that's where I feel I perform best. So I love it, and more pressure, the better.
Talk about performing under pressure. A couple of nice tries, that one.
Yeah. Just found the ball in space a couple of times, which is what I love, and it's a lot easier in space. So yeah, just do what I can.
Always nice bleeding a bit of blood for the old jersey too. Congratulations on that one. Good luck for the next one.
Hey man, thank you so much.
Couple of great tries from Brock Webster to see Canada home. So who will they play in the next matchup? Ireland and Wales in the second of the 9th place semi-finals. Ireland, of course, semi-finalists in Singapore a week ago. Be disappointed to have missed out on the quarter-finals here. Wales with it all to play for as well. And out they come through the pyrotechnics. Both teams in their traditional colours. Ireland in the green and Wales in the red. Ireland with one of their key components, the likes of Dardis and Conroy and McNulty out there from the start. Wales led by Luke Trahan, Morgan Chinowski. Morgan Williams being really good as well.
Kennedy on the bench again for Ireland, which is interesting. He's usually such a talisman for them, but Dardis and Conroy, they'll be really looking for the impact, and then McNulty and the breakdown at the kickoffs. Wales had a big win over Spain earlier. That's absolutely huge for them, but if they could follow it up with another big win, those point standings will be getting much more promising for them.
Luke Trahan in the second of the 9th place semi-finals. A good contest in the air, and it falls for Jordan Conroy for Ireland.
No, talk it out, release.
He's eventually got the knee to the ground, and the tacklers have to release them. And through the hands go the Irish. Through there's skipper Billy Dardis to ground eventually, and it's laid back for the head-geared Matthew McDonald. Here's Mullen looking for runners. Just keeps going. Shea Mullins. And Conroy, and at first receiver Tam Awanusi. McNulty doing the hard yards in the middle as always. Good ball retention here from Ireland to start, holding on to the ball for almost 50-odd seconds coming up to the opening minute of the game. Conroy will clear. Awanusi spins it long and wide for McNulty. Here's Awanusi rather. It was McDonald with the initial pass. Credit where it's due for the good pass, and now we'll go straight up through the middle. Matthew McDonald. Wales defence holding firm though at the moment. McNulty again clears and clears quickly, and now the fly is steaming onto it. Conroy can't get around the outside of a good tackle by Morgan Williams. Gee, this ball retention from Ireland is very good at the moment, and now therefore McDonald couldn't quite get the arms free to Shea Mullins. Awanusi has to go in and play halfback. They still hold on to possession, Ireland. Wales just cannot get a hand near this ball, yet at the same time they're holding on to their tackles, making them. Conroy. A minute and a half of possession for Ireland to start this match. McNulty up through the middle, and now there's a wrestle. Can Wales rather blow through? And somehow it has spat out on the Wales side, so all that good work comes to nothing for Ireland. And Wales, having made plenty of tackles, now get an opportunity to burst downfield through Callum Williams. It was a wonderful ball around the corner. There's despair for the Irish. All that effort, no reward, and now they're going to watch Wales through Callum Williams going under the sticks.
And it all stems from that fantastic defence. We were talking about how long Ireland were retaining the ball for. They were working the full width of the pitch. They weren't really gaining any territory. The Welsh were just sliding with them. They had 7 up in their front line, so that does make it easier to cover the full width of the pitch. Weren't really competing in the breakdown until they spotted their opportunity. And boy, did they take it. Got the turnover, and then immediately went forward with 3 or 4 players throwing the offloads. Callum Williams getting the ball in space, and there were some bodies strewn around. Once he got that ball in the space, there were few people trailing him.
Absorbed the early pressure, have Wales, and then scored themselves, so they take a 7-0 lead over Ireland.
Time back on.
Trahan strokes the restart, and it's gone down to the arms of Jordan Conroy, which is often dangerous, but it's a good 2-man tackle from Chinowski, and Trahan. Penalty though goes against Wales. Look at the ref and a shake of the head from Luke Trahan.
Yeah, Trahan, I think he was the low man, so he might not have seen what happened after he went to ground, but that's the second big collision Conroy's been a part of in the last couple of minutes. He's walking a little gingerly away. I think he might want to find his way out to the wing, make sure he's getting the ball in a bit more space, but players starting to look a little tired. Ireland happy to go for the line out. I think that early passage actually took a lot out of them. We usually say that the defence has to work harder than the attack, but that long passage of play, the Irish seem to be a bit tired from that.
Conroy is, hobbling out, clutching his groin as it's brought down by Awanusi. Good ball from the line out here for Ireland. I was going to say it's coming Conroy's way, so he has to stretch out and support, but Mullins goes through and takes the ball into the tackle. Another penalty for Wales, though. Their defence is really composed, very organised.
They've done very well so far. I mean, that was very quick. Mullins was taken advantage of. Ball was taken away from him, so doing a really good job of immediately getting on the ball. The second man for Ireland just slightly leaving that window, and I wonder if the ball carrier could have done a bit more work to get the ball back and away from the jackler.
Conroy does not look any good. He's switching back over to the other wing. The problem is you have to go one wing to the other all the time. Here's Wales through the skipper Trahan. You can hear the Ireland comms. Watch the switch. It's coming their way. Pearce Jones. Pearce Jones, the 18-year-old. Wales trying to work a little move and trying to slice away through. Ball over the top's not going to quite fall for Irish hands. There's a scramble on the ground. It was Roach who went up, and it's going to end up being Welsh ball out as well.
Yeah, Roach did a really good job getting in the passing channel, blocking the pass, but then he doesn't have the ball, so he's lying on the floor. You're not allowed to play the ball when you are lying on the ground. So he would have had to get back to his feet before being able to play the ball, so that's a penalty for Wales, and then get back on the attack.
Wales building, and easy as you like. It was just ball through the hands, across the chain, and it's a simple finish for the youngster, Iwan Pearce-Jones, but a well-deserved try for Wales.
Once again, stemming in from their work at the breakdown, they get the nice little slice play, and then it's just through the hands. Ireland do have 6 in the front line, 1 at the sweep, so that's preventing them from getting the same sort of width that Wales were. And when you do that, you've got to compensate in other areas.
Kick from wide is away, but this is a well-deserved lead for Wales. Coach happy at the moment, 12 points to 0. Feels like Ireland is just lacking a little bit of spark, and I wonder if it is the energy. This has been a second, obviously, tournament back-to-back for these teams. A lot of travel. This is the tough time.
Yeah, I mean, that man, Terry Kennedy, he's usually one they look to. Didn't start this game, so we'll see if he can provide his impact off the bench. And Conroy, walking gingerly so far. I wonder if he's got something wrong, because hasn't been quite at his best so far in this one.
Great take from the restart from Awanusi, and a penalty. That'll help Ireland just make their way upfield. And here's the Kennedy-Conroy combo. Kennedy runs away, though, from Jordan Conroy on that occasion, so Ireland look to spread right instead. Taking on the line is Dardis for McDonald. McDonald played it again, advantage Ireland's way.
Yes, the tackler released him. The Ireland player did really well, releasing the ball, getting back to his feet, and there was actually no one in front of him, so quite a good penalty, I'd almost say, from the Welsh defender. Once he's on the ground, he's not allowed to tackle the Irish player again, but he might have saved his team 7 points there, so I think probably worth it for the Welsh. And now they've got one defensive stand here. It's been a fantastic half so far for the Welsh. They've got one scrum. Can they stop the Irish, get the turnover, end the half, and go into half time in a really strong position?
Time back on. Crouch. Bind. Set.
In and out it goes for Ireland. Here's Kennedy. Can he link up with Conroy? Tracked across field, and again taken in a good tackle by Morgan Williams, and a penalty too for Wales. Once more, this defence just looks like it's got plenty of time to make the right decision for Wales.
Welsh defence doing really well. I mean, Kennedy's so good on that outside arc, but the Welsh defence right with him.
So Wales it is who goes into the half-time break with a 12-point buffer, 12 points to 0. They lead Ireland in the 9th place semi-final. Welsh coaches happy just to wander over. Their team have got it pretty nicely under control and leaving Luke Trahan to do the talking at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's something we've seen kind of over the years as coaches have realised if you come in hot right away, the players still can't catch their breath. They've got no idea what's going on. Luke Trahan also providing that veteran impact. We're at BC Place for day 2 of the Hsbc Canada Sevens in Vancouver. And, they've been pumping because the Canadians had a good win earlier, and at the moment watching Wales with a handy advantage, 12 points to 0, dancing in the crowd. They lead Ireland, who have really struggled to fire a shot, to be fair to them. Jordan Conroy still not looking a bit worse for wear. Just over off the hand of Pearce-Jones, and couldn't quite haul it in McNulty, but we've got a chance to go down and have a chat to Wales coach Richie Pugh. Richie, thanks for joining us. You'll be really pleased with your work of your team in the first half. What have they done well so far?
Yeah, I think there's just been some huge defensive efforts, 3 or 4 sets there where we we were stretched hard, but we were making our one-on-one tackles, and it's important against such a dangerous team. And it's good. We turned over and managed to convert 2 tries. So positive position, but we know that Ireland are going to come back at us now.
Is that something you're trying to instill in them? There's a real composure and a patience in that defence as well, and play the game at their own tempo.
Well, we knew yesterday that there were too many missed one-on-one tackles, too many errors that we're in control of, and it ultimately cost us against the big teams. So if we can take charge of that and get that right, then we put ourselves in a good place.
Well, we better let you go as well. Ireland come on to attack. Thanks so much, Richie. Love your insights.
Thank you.
Wales once again having a go at that breakdown, just as Coach Richard Pugh was talking about, but that time infringing, and it gives Ireland the chance now. The beginning of the second half, this allows them to set their attacking platform, calm things down, go to a line-out. Where every team, they drill their line-out so many times, so now they can fall into their attacking structures, look to Kennedy, look to Conroy out wide and see what they can create.
You have to open the gap. He's this mark. He's mark. You have to open the gap.
Roach with the throw. It was McNulty at the front. Ireland looking for something, looking for a spark to get a foothold in this match. Here's Conroy. Is he the one? Pierce Jones gave him a little bit of room, gave him too much. Did he all slip the ball for Kennedy back in field? The Conroy-Kennedy combo works, and it's Kennedy who's the benefactor this time, and Ireland do get on the board.
Conroy doing fantastic work. I mean, Pierce Jones, we've seen his speed this weekend, but Conroy uses his footwork, runs straight at him, and then bam, hard to the outside, uses his speed. Pierce Jones chases really well. The fend gets Conroy able to straighten up, get his hands free, finds Kennedy, and it's that inside Welsh defender who's just not able to stick with him.
Oh, conversion's a beauty. What a ripper from the sideline. 12 points to 7 now. Wales leading Ireland. A noticeable improvement in the kicking today, you saw, Madison.
Yeah, yesterday really both conversions, but especially kickoffs, they were struggling. Today they seem to have taken up a notch, so got used to the turf here.
Can't haul it in, Wales off the restart.
But it's over.
It allows Ireland more ball. They didn't have hardly any, no territorial position in that first half, and they've started the second much the better. Stepping in field, big collisions. Body's being bumped off everywhere. It's a charging run from Jack Kelly. Here's Conroy. Suddenly looks a whole lot better and pops a nice little pass once more for Andrew Smith. Did he get it down?
Time off.
He might have dropped it over the line. We're going to have a look.
Try yes or no, please.
We will check that for you.
From the way that ball spills out like that.
Really hard to tell if it spilled because he kind of bounced on it with his full body weight, or if it was ripped out here. The Welsh defender getting his hand in there. Oh, and that's fantastic defence there. Wow.
We have a decision for you, Toto.
I'm not sure which defender it was.
No try. The ball was lost forward.
Okay. No try.
Oh, it's great work from Wales on defence. Just what Richie Pugh had been talking about. He knows how dangerous Ireland are. They've worked very hard for each other in defence, Wales, in this match. And that was exactly what was needed again. 12 points to 7. Winner will play Canada for 9. Can't stress how important that is for these teams. 9th place means a good handful of competition points. Trahan is a great leader of the Wales team. Boy, he's a workhorse too. Because they're going to have to work it from in front of their own goalpost, and that will help too. Ireland caught offside.
Wow, and the Welsh defence going from what looked like a sure try, get their hand in there, rip, get the scrum, and now able to slow the game down, clear their lines. Really crucial that they find touch here, but able to go to a line out. Everything was scrambling before. Get your heart rate down. We've got 3 minutes left in this game. How can we control the tempo? So that's what you need to do as you get into the second half of these big, important games.
Trahan throws into the middle. It is for Chris Smith. And knocked down, and it's fallen for Irish hands, and they bust away again, busting into each other.
Tackle out, release.
Kennedy makes the tackle on his own teammate, then plays halfback. And here come Ireland again, looking to level the scores. Good impact from Smith for Ireland in jersey number 4.
It's good. It's good. Turnover is good. Release, Green, release.
Turnover good, the call, but it's still there for Ireland, and then it came back the other way.
He got the ball, you must release.
Wow, so I think the Irish player felt that he had the ball and the Welsh player should have released him, but Wales going quick, which is an interesting decision at this point of the game.
And possibly not the best one as they lose control of the ball once again. And now Ireland stab a little kick through. There's nobody sweeping back there for Ireland. Kennedy, clever. Taking it in hand, one of the stars of the Irish team, Terry Kennedy, scored so many tries this season. Summed up the situation perfectly.
Maybe a bit of a ball down line situation. That penalty maybe should have gone to the Irish, but the decision to go quick, I don't love that. You're in the lead in the last couple of minutes of a game. That's when you want to slow things down. I know the line-out didn't go their way last time, but I think there was a better decision than that. And Kennedy, he's seeing the Welsh have been playing 7-up all game. They now take advantage, spots the space in behind, and he has the pace to go over and score right next to the posts, which could be crucial with this conversion.
Yeah, easy conversion for the quality of Billy Dardis, and all of a sudden Ireland, who had to grind and grind for the best part of this match, now lead 14-12, and Terry Kennedy's back on terms in the battle with Corey Toole on the try-scoring stakes for the season, 32 each.
Such a shame for the Welsh after they played so well for so long. Poor decision, poor handling error at the line-out, poor decision going quick on the tap penalty, and it's really going to cost them. We've seen Jordan Conroy limping off. He's done his work in this second half to get the Irish back in front. Now it's on the others to finish the job off.
Wales haven't been able to get the restarts, capture the restarts, but they do this time, much needed from Tom Williams. We've seen Wales can score and have scored late. Kick around the corner from Lloyd Lewis. He's the chaser, trying to push Ireland back in to their own 22.
It's good.
McNulty's scragged, gets the ball away or forced it and didn't need to. And this might give Wales one more opportunity, one chance.
There's no knock-on.
From both these teams, you've just got to be a bit smarter with the game management. Lloyd Lewis going down the outside could have really paid off, but it's a low percentage play, and as you enter the last minute of the game, it's even more important to be playing those percentages. Ireland, they're up by 2 points with time ticking down. Just take the ball into contact, get your support there, live to fight another day. You don't need that $1 million offload at that stage of the game.
Yeah. No, you know to me. No.
So we know it's far.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to check that. Yes. Boys, I have a problem here. There was time out on the horn songs, you know? There's still how many seconds to go? 38. It's okay?
Just double checking how much time left on the clock is the referee. It's been Ireland
so good to go? Good to go? Okay, thank you very much. Time back on. Crouch.
Wales might feel a little green. It might have been a come off an Irish hand. Not gone, but anyway, it'll be Stephen Kilgallen to feed this scrum. Wales look to put some pressure on. Can't stop it getting in and out really quickly though. Ireland, and that's a great charge up the middle. Just what they needed from Shea Mullins. Now burying the head and working hard is Andrew Smith. Counter ruck comes in from Wales though, trying to get that ball. They have to go in and make a bit of a rescue mission. It was Jack Kelly and he did it. Dardis to try and control the time here. The siren goes. Wales need to rip this away. They're trying to get through. Oh, great work. Trahan again, but once more just in time. Ireland come through. Kennedy hacks it away. And Ireland, by the skin of their teeth, will go through to the 9th place final. They beat Wales 14 points to 12.
Just do enough to get the job done, and I'm with you on that last scrum. I felt that maybe should have been to the Welsh, which would have been made for a very interesting last 30 seconds, but Ireland do just enough. Wales had so many good moments, especially defensively in that first half, but some of the Irish quality through Kennedy and Conroy able to do just enough to get the win and put them in that 9th place final.
Wales will be disappointed. They had such a good first half. A few mistakes end up being so costly. So it'll be Ireland to go through to play Canada. And that'll be a good matchup too, I'm sure. Well supported as well. The Irish always have a lot of fans in the house, but they'll be hard pressed to match the Canadians. As we see Vancouver from the air looking down on us at BC Place. We've got a wee breather before we start to get into the semi-finals. The fifth place semi-final. These are from the beaten quarterfinalists. France against South Africa coming up in just under 12 minutes' time. So let's turn the spotlight now on the men in the middle, the referees. We, back in Dubai, followed AJ Jacobs around to find out a little bit more about life on the Hsbc World Rugby 7 Series for the officials.
The nice thing about refereeing is that is the best seat in the house. Sit! Sometimes becomes hot in that seat, but that's part of the job.
This is our workplace. You run out to referee a game regularly, that's your workplace. I think most of these referees, I think the word is out that the sevens is something which is very enjoyable, and whilst they're here to do a job, it's a huge opportunity for young people to see the world and enjoy their passion, which is refereeing.
I always wanted to do sevens when I started refereeing a few years ago. I quite like the pace of the game, I like the speed. AJ is a promising young referee from South Africa. He's done a couple of test matches already, got involved in the Lions tour. What a great opportunity and privilege it is actually to be picked. It's one of those occasions that you'll never as a referee forget the day you got that phone call. He will be trying, like all the others, to make the final cut of referees, which at the end of the series will end up refereeing at the 2024 Paris Olympics. Butterflies before the game, you always get it. That's one of the things we love this sport so much. I'd like to think that AJ will be nervous because it's his first time at a tournament and he'll be just as nervous as the others. I hope he is. If he's got that nervousness, it means he's going to do his best to perform.
Fiji and France, the double Olympic champions.
AJ Jacobs from South Africa will take care of this one.
The best referees are the ones that know the art of refereeing. It's actually knowing when not to blow their whistle.
Punish for that tackle.
But a good referee has that feel and just has that, knows, for example, advantage, knows when to play it, when not to. I always believe that it's a special person that wants to give back at the game, that is not scared to make decisions.
Did he throw the ball away?
You kicked the ball away.
There's always a decision in the game that challenges you. It's a thing it's not a black and white. There's sometimes grey areas, and I probably think that's the enjoyment of how could you deal with that moment. If they over-referee, they become very much the gotcha type person. We don't want gotcha referees. We want referees with feel.
All good.
The nice thing about refereeing is that is the best seat in the house. I can remember when I started refereeing, looking at all these big names around us, and now you actually have to take charge of them. So it's always a nice seat to take in. It sometimes becomes hot in that seat, but that's part of the job.
This is absolutely amazing. It's more than people think, and the only way you can really experience it is being here. And I've realized today how blessed we are as referees to be in the middle of these awesome rugby players.
Cool to get a little bit of insight on what life is like for our officials on the Hsbc World Rugby 7 Series. We'd like to make sure that everybody is still doing a little bit of work during these breaks, and particularly Carl Tenana, who is down pitch side with a very special guest.
Bianca Farrell, I know you're here in the air as an ambassador capacity, but I know you're loving the mariachi band. You got any moves?
Oh, I have some moves. They'll come out later.
What about this fan base that comes here to Canada? It's always hearty, isn't it?
It's so nice being here. It's always so electric. I know we're on Easter weekend here, but it's so nice to see everyone here and the families here, especially on the Sunday.
Now, I know it's the men's turn this weekend here in Vancouver. You guys are up next in Langford. How's it been going leading into that?
The build-up has been great, especially since Spain was about 6 to 8 weeks ago. The group has had a wonderful training block, and we're really looking forward to our home tournament. We always pack the stands. It's so nice.
And I suppose getting all the teams back on the series, New Zealand's going to be back at full noise. So, I mean, the pressure is going to be definitely on, always at home.
Yeah, the pressure's always on, and Canada tends to feel that pressure, but we're really looking forward to it. We're excited to have this transition and rebuilding phase. and we're really looking forward to having New Zealand back with us on the World Series.
I know you're very active on the old socials, and everyone's been digging your training videos, my mate.
Thank you. I do want to show everyone all the hard work we've been doing, especially leading up to the games.
I need you to get up to the mariachi then. Please, you got to do us a dance. Go on.
We gotta go. Quick dance.
Now she's slick on the field and she's slick off it too. And the fans are getting into it. These alien costumes are quite something, aren't they? As we're counting down to our next matchup. It is France against South Africa. And the 2021 season was severely curtailed by COVID. And in the end, Canada did host 2 events here. And speaking of South Africa, we got to meet the masterminds behind the Blitzbox success.
Us, it's all about values, the values of the people or the person that's coming into our system. My name is Neil Powell, and I'm the head coach of the Springbok Sevens team. It's a philosophy that's all about the people in the system. I think it's not just to develop the young men that comes into our system as rugby players, but also to develop them as people and send them out of our squad as better people. So basically, in short, we believe that better people make better players.
My name is Renfred Deisel, Springbok Sevens assistant coach. We try to keep it simple. We try to equip players to the best of our ability. Our culture is probably the thing that's our foundation through all of the year.
There's 2 values that I want to install in them. It's probably respect and integrity. It's respect to anybody that you work with or have in your life. And then integrity, basically just to do the right thing when nobody's watching. And it goes hand in hand with honesty. So honesty from me to the players, but also honesty from them to us as a management. I've played with Neil. He's very calm, very detailed person. Neil will go even with timings, from game day timings, from hotel to the field, measurements on the field with cones and all of these things, the drills. Lots of people think Neil is very strict with his facial expression, but he's actually a very nice person. It's a difficult balance to get right, to get that perfect atmosphere. And I think it's when the guys are off the field or away from the training sessions or or team meetings, they must enjoy themselves and have fun. But as soon as we step into that team meeting and over the white line, then it's all about enjoyment. So yes, there must still be smiles on the faces, but a lot more focus, a lot more concentration. I think we are serious at times, but I think mostly we enjoy ourselves. That is the main thing, or the key thing for us, is that enjoyment. That's how South Africans are. They're passionate about what they're doing, and I think we serious when we need to. Sevens is a game that's a very simple game, but you got to do the basics very, very well, or the fundamentals of the sevens game very well. And I think if you do that, you've got a good chance of being successful. And I think for us, it's all about keeping it simple, not making it too complicated, and make sure that everybody understands exactly what's asked of them.
Neil Powell in the huddle with South Africa, coaching this team since 2013. He's seen it all.
Everybody that obviously see the footage from the other side of the TV screen think I'm calm and relaxed next to the field, but I can tell you what, there's a storm going on inside me.
A try over the top. Muller, Duplessis in the cup final in Edmonton.
Obviously a whole wave of emotions of anxiety and tenseness and a bit of stress as well. When myself and Neil always come out and we sit on the bench, obviously we will chat to keep each other calm. And I think there's a few times where we didn't stick to the protocols, then we go slightly over the box.
And the blitz box can really celebrate now.
We talk about celebrating for 24 hours and then almost getting back to zero again, making sure that we start all over again. When we go back to the hotel, we'll celebrate for half an hour, get into a team room, and then have a bit of a celebration, and then the guys can still enjoy that win the next day, which is the Monday for us, and then When Tuesday morning comes, then we must make sure that they get it.
World Series champions. And what about Neil Powell? His third series win as head coach of this South African team.
I must say it's starting to get a bit emotional because I'm leaving the system in a year's time, and all the great memories and the positives starting to almost play through your mind, and obviously something that I definitely miss. Amazing people in the system. Yeah, very grateful for this